the like button. As soon as you come up in here, hit the like button. About to go down. Hit the like button. What's up, chat? Everybody, salute. Like button, everybody. Share it. As soon as you come in, share it. Yes, sir. First episode. Let's go. Yes, sir. What's up, Doug? Salute, Doug. The number one moderator in the house. We're going to control that chat. Yes, sir. What's up, gentlemen? Yeah, all the guys are here. What's going on? Everybody, we appreciate you tuning in to our first episode. I don't think it's been no collaboration for us in the K9 social media world this big. I was looking at all these guys' numbers, and it's approaching almost 4 million when you're talking about something like this right here. So, yeah, man, glad everybody's here. I'm gonna kick it off to the pros who know. I want to start with Trevor. Can you just give the audience a little bit about yourself and all that good stuff?
One of my favorite things to do is mind my business, stay out of everybody else's. Let's keep rolling. Let's go.
Yeah. All right. Rick, hey, Rich, you muted, brother.
Michael, man.
I know I was muted. Okay. I was sitting here like, damn, my Instagram didn't go live, but we're going to rock out with y'all. So,
okay.
Anyways, hey, I'm no different than Trevor, man. I stay in my own lane. I mind my own business. I'm a little nicer than Trevor. Like, people reach out for help, I'm going to help them. Like, but he gives information in a different way, like a phone call. So just always reach out if you need me.
You need him, not me. Don't forget that. Do not call me.
Gerald.
Hey, man, listen, we all got shit to do. And I go off on haters real quick, though. I'll be engaging in this conversation. I have to dial back. But all my supporters, you know, I love them. The haters, keep the algorithms going. I'm cracking.
Oh, yeah.
That's what's up. All right. Man, this first episode was going to be about knowing your breed. So we got the guys here that can tell you all about that. And Gerald, I want to start with you on why is it important to knowing your breed, whether you're going to be a breeder or whether you're shopping for a pet.
Well, I mean, you know, first of all, if you like anybody else who's a good breeder, I mean, you never get into it for money. It's just you get into it because you love the breed. The money comes second. And if you become a lover of that particular breed, do your research. Start reading encyclopedias. Start going online, seeing what you don't want, seeing what you do need. Make the mistakes, but make the mistakes a learning mistake. Like I got toasted my first time when I got my first Dobermans, right? And I know what I know what I want, but then I know what I didn't need. You know what I'm saying? So for me, it's all about temperament. Stabilized mind, smartness, prey drivers is a motherfucking must. And, you know, confirmation, of course, top line, bottom line, markings, etc. But, you know, I made all the mistakes so nobody has to. So, you know, I've been burned, toasted, and with butter on it. So, you know, you got to love the breed, man. And if you get into this breed, whatever breed it is, you're ever evolving. You're always trying to improve and bring back the best, because one thing, everybody can say that I'm an asshole or I'm short with them, but they can't say I got shit dogs. Period.
Gotcha. Rich, you want to chime in on that?
Yeah, I tap in, man. You know, for me, in the breed that I deal with, it's extremely important to know the breed, because when you're dealing with dominant breed dogs, they do dominant shit. And if you don't know what you're getting into and you get a Presa Canario and you have this 140 to 150 pound dog that decides one day he ain't gonna listen to what you're saying and you're gonna listen to what he's saying, it can become a very intimidating situation that you put yourself into, not knowing what you're getting into when you buy this little cute puppy that turns into this 140, 50 pound dominant breed. So for me, I always try to tell people that's interested in buying a dog, I have a puppy application to make sure they know what they're getting into and they've done the research. So it's more to protect them, protect my reputation and my kennel name, and to make everybody, including the dog, to have a very good owner, pet, and breeder living situation.
Gotcha. Big dog.
And what's the question again?
What's the importance of understanding the characteristics and knowing your breed?
Oh, that's easy, man. You know, people get, I think, all the type of dogs we have because they think they're tough. You know, so it's like, oh man, let me get a dog that reflects who I want to be. But you know, I met a dude one time, pulled up his shirt, and he had got shot 25 times with a scar down. He said they don't want to do 25 for it though, Trev. I said, you're absolutely right, man. Good luck. So, you know, when you say characteristics, we look for character, and character are the things that's defined oftentimes by the human. So, with the American Bully, the cousin of it is a pit bull. Sometimes people forget that there's a pit bull somewhere in there, but that's like waking up Bruce Banner. Bruce Banner turned into the Hulk, becomes very capable, especially when they're trying to do the XXL thing, which ain't even a real thing. So I just want people to be super careful, super cautious, super aware that these ain't fucking teddy bears. You want a teddy bear, get one. These are dogs. They are animals. And we want to treat them like that too, with respect. That's I think the thing is most people get the dog to disrespect it and discipline it or hurt it or whatever. But like you treat that thing with respect, because if a lion walked in here right now, motherfuckers wouldn't think about raising their hand to a lion. They'd be like, yo, please get that lion out of here, because you're gonna respect him. And he'll respect you most time if he's been, you know, around people, but disrespect him, he'll remind you why he's the king of the jungle.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. What do y'all think about, like, when, you know, dogs is trending? Dogs of the times. Do you ever notice, like, I guess all of us in our 40s or 50s, like, I know when I was coming up, it was the Doberman. When I was probably, you know, 10, then when I got into teenagers, it was a pit bull. What are the dangers of buying trendy dogs? Go, take it.
The mic's muted, man. Mute is muted.
All right, there we go. Okay. Hey, but look, hey, I'm just trying to keep the noise down on my end. But for me and in my breed, the new trend is this black Presa Canario.
Oh,
yeah, and you know, it's really interesting because nobody can explain and nobody really understands or pays attention to how it's more black Presa Canarios in America than any black Presas in the Canary Islands. So when you're talking about things are trending as far as dogs, you start to have to think about what's making this breed now exist, that just all of a sudden popped out of nowhere. And now it's hundreds and thousands of these dogs. That's when a lot of inbreeding come, mixing in dogs, and just to be able to make money in a dollar. So it hurts the breed because it's no longer a true Presa. It's a dog that's mixed with something that's called a Presa. So now you have a black Presa type dog. And you have a lot of people getting into the breed because I like black dogs and it looks amazing, but they don't understand all the characteristics, the structures, and the true history and the genetics behind what they're purchasing, chasing a color of a dog compared to the true breed.
Y'all chime in on whatever you want.
I agree with that. I mean, again, at the beginning, I said that you get into a breed because you love that breed, not because of the money. And I've noticed a lot of Doberman breeders, so I can only speak on that breed in general terms, that people are not getting into the Frenchies. And they have no goddamn concept that these dogs can't breed naturally. They can't give birth naturally. You're going to be in the hole thousands of dollars before you recover. And it's to the point where they're not doing their research. I know guys doing hairless Frenchies, curly hair Frenchies. It's getting pathetic, man, because all these dogs come with some kind of genetic issue, even Dobermans, right? And now they got this new thing called a hyper type Doberman, where they almost look like a Rottweiler. He can't move. He got a short neck. He's short as hell, and then he dies in 4.5, 5 years because no genetic makeup, no genetic testing is done. Most of these Dobermans have these spontaneous mutated disease, genetic diseases called like DM and DCM, degenerative cardiomyopathy. It won't be determined if the dog has it now, but he can have it 4 or 5 years later. And it's getting to the point where people are getting these working dogs, these compound dogs, these guardian dogs, and they want them to be pets. And I told Rich a while ago, I said, and I told Trev, I said, they're taking the animal instinct out of the animal. You know, they're making them almost like subhuman. And when you take something that was genetically created by man to be a personal protector, and you want him to be a pet in a 1-bedroom apartment, it's a disaster made in heaven, man. I mean, you know, case in point, I think in San Francisco, no, Ving Rams had 2 or the 2 Kenny Corsos. And I think the dog mauled his housekeeper. Damn. You know, yeah. But, you know, accidents happen, man. That's why you got to be on top of these dogs 24/7. I don't trust these dogs with my 10-year-old son unsupervised. At the end of the day, they're fucking animals, and they will respond, you know. So the trendy dogs, man, they got to learn their own dogs first, you know, because the ones that get in for the money, they phase out. Yeah.
And I'm just a business guy. Trends are the worst thing to ever happen to business. Every market normalizes. It's called economy of scale. So when somebody comes in and saturates the market with a bad idea or a good idea that goes bad, bad things happen. And that's in any industry. Bad things happen. So you take precautions for those people that feel like they're missing out. I get messages and have gotten many saying, man, I just feel like if I don't get the bully right now, I'm going to lose. I'm like, you love the dog, you never really lose. We do very specific things to make sure people are aware of our purpose and, you know, what we do and why we do it. We pace ourselves. So everybody who jumps in and jumps, they had to jump right back out. they jump right back out real quick because they start looking at those L's. And we lose just as much as the next person, if not more. And we expose ourselves. We expose every loss that we have. We don't even share wins. Like, you know, like, oh, she got pregnant, thank God. But all the losses is why I think, you know, we've been so much successful. But saturation is a killer of many industries and any market, to be clear.
Yep.
Yeah. So if they wanted to know the steps to researching the breed, history, temperament, and health issues, how would they know how to do all that good stuff?
I'll let Trev start that one off. Ask that question again, Joe.
Researching a breed's history. What are some tips on researching a breed history, the temperaments and things like that? How would they know about the breed they want to fuck with, they want to deal with? Excuse me.
I mean, simply put, most of those breeds like the Doberman and I think the Pressa, the Jack Russell, they have a whole history, 200 years of information. The Pit Bull even has 200 years of history. In the American Bully, there is no history. So, you know, something new coming out every day because they keep mixing and matching craziness. So, man, hey, man, we ought to do health testing. I'm like, my man, stop playing. Stop playing with me. So one of the things I encourage, step one, is make sure you're talking to a breeder like Richard or Joe or Gerald, any of these guys who really take health and put that as the number one priority, and myself as well. And then from there, I'm going to tell you exactly what you're getting if you get a pup and how to develop that pup so you can manage the temperament. I tell people with, I think, the breeds that we have, a lot of them aren't designed. They're not going to get PSA level 3. It's just not going to happen. You know, so you're really just managing that dog because you love it over its course of life. So you're never like really in charge, which goes back to the animal thing. So you have to let people know too, like, hey, pit bulls, I think Dobermans can be a little bit more trained. American Bulldogs, kind of Corso, that massive is a little bit defensive. Like realistically, you kind of just managing them until the day that they die and they're hanging out. Your Shepherds and Malinois, on the other hand, they're like direction Australian Shepherds. They need direction, but those other ones, you know, there's packs of coonhounds get let off in the woods with GPS things because you don't tell the dog to heel or sit or down. They're like, hey, go find them birds and bring them out. It needs its instinct, you know, determined. So if the people aren't getting information like that, I think from breeders like myself or you guys, then you're already at a loss. And then there are real live things where they're testing health. So they'll tell you that it costs anywhere from $30,000 in the first 6 months of a German Shepherd and $30,000 at the end of his life just to like take care of it. I don't want to participate in that breed because I'm not saving $60,000 to keep a dog alive.
Yeah.
So health, I would say talk to your breeder if you can, just like you get an oil change or get an inspection. Take the dog yourself, post the breeder giving you its health certificate, see what your doctor says on heart and health and all that other good stuff, and then be like, yo, once you've seen him to the parents, then maybe make a purchase. If not, find you a better dog.
Yeah. You want to go, Joe? Want me to tap in?
You tap in.
You know, for me, it becomes something like in my breed where I would highly encourage people to read on their own and looking where the breed comes from. And because there's so many breeders in my breed that are not really educated on the breed and just bought 2 dogs called Pressers. Now they become a Presser Canario expert breeder, and they passing information that Billy Bob told them, and they just repeating and regurgitating information about the breed that's not correct. So don't listen to what someone else tells you that's your breeder. In my breed, take the time to understand the FCI breed standard, look at where the dog comes from, try to talk to some of the people that live in the Canary Islands that actually was a part of this breed and the origin and where the dog comes from. Like, don't just listen to somebody here in America that's never taken the time or flight to go to the Canary Islands and sit down with them to understand the dog that they've created. And now the Americans are more expert of the breed in the Canarians, and you listening to somebody else that really has no clue, that's been told by somebody else. So it's the blind following the blind in my breed. It's a lot of misinformation. So I would say go to the root of the breed, which is the Canary Islands, and talk to some Canarians before you start talking to American breeders about what the breed is, as well as look at the FCI standard and understand the standard before you really get into buying a dog in my breed.
Yeah, I agree, Rich. Like you, all my males have always been imported from Eastern Europe. Unfortunately, I haven't had a chance to go over there, but I got some good connections in Russia that I trust, because you know you can get toasted over there. You send your money in euros, you don't know what the fuck you're getting when it comes back, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I recommend, for me, because you know us Americans, we're visual. You know, like I looked at one of Trevor's videos, and he got this one pit. I was like, man, I love that pit. It's got 3 colors on him, right? So, but we get caught up. I get caught up in the looks because I'm normal. I'm human. I'm American. But when you start looking at dogs because of the aesthetics only, you get things twisted, because you're not looking at the intangibles. You're looking at the tangibles, right? I want to know, will this dog die for me? I want to know, does he have courage? If he's skittish, he got to go, right? So for me, I recommend, to get back to your question, I recommend that a first-time buyer, you know, I took that major leap in 2010, and I imported my first dog from Hungary. But I recommend people who are not as dog savvy to go to a couple of breeders, if they'll allow you to pick their brains and just see what they're talking about, because you know they can say things to you that goes way over your head. Like they say, you know what, I breed my Dobermans for show quality, right? And people don't know what the fuck difference is between show and work. And then you see some people say, I breed my dogs for working quality, right? And you need to know the difference. And my thing is, if you got breeders out there who are going to be honest about their shit, good breeders stay in the game a long time, and real good breeders probably will breed, if they want to, 3 times a year and have a waiting list as long as your goddamn arm, right? Because it's the quality, not the quantity. I would recommend going to your breeder, let them get nosy, you know, start picking your brain, because the breeders who are potentially selling you a pup likes the fact that you asking all the questions that nobody asks, right? They know that that dog's going to go to a good home. My recommendation, go to a couple of breeders, drive, fly, take a boat, whatever you got to do, pick your brain, figure out all dogs have some kind of genetic issues. You know, Roddy's got hip dysplasia, diabetes, Doberman's got heart issues, and large breed dogs tend to have some issues as well. Figure out what those are. Figure out, are there precautionary tests? It ain't a guarantee, because I can't guarantee shit, right? I can just tell you, hey, you know what? This is what I got. Now, will he work? I don't know. Depending on what kind of foundation, right? Because I believe in that shit. But yeah, pick your brain on on the breeder that you're potentially buying from, and go to another breeder. You know, I know some of these breeders here in LA, it's a little bit different out here on the West Coast, even though I'm a country boy. Oh, here on the West Coast, man, people don't want you coming to their house. They say, this ain't no petting zoo. But you got to let them know, say, I don't want to come over to pet, look around. I want to be a potential buyer, right? We're talking about $3,000 minimum. So, yeah, do your research, man, because
cut Gerald off before we can get to 35 questions.
Oh yeah, my bad.
Gerald, hey, Gerald, passionate about this one.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. My bad, man. Listen, yeah, man, do your research. Do your research, and just stay diligent.
Hey,
right.
Go. Hey,
Gerald, I love you. I love when that passion comes out.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, man.
Well, it's really finna come out now because I'm finna ask a loaded question. I'm gonna kind of put you on the spot. Is all money good money? And when I mean that, pressers, all the dog breeds we got, they are popular. And you got a dude call him. He got the money, man. You got them pressers, bro. But I'm gonna hear that motherfucker. Woo, I'm talking about that type of buyer.
Yeah. Well, you want me to answer this one first, or you want Gerald to take it?
No, you don't want me to take it first.
You can take is all money good money?
Listen, here's the reality. I actually turn down more people that come to me to buy dogs than the law allows. Like, other presser breeders should be thanking me for the amount of people I turn down that come to me that I can tell by the questions that they ask and the way that they're moving and their lack of understanding and education of what the breed is. I won't take the money. I won't take the sale, because the integrity to me and the breeding of the dog in my program, and me not putting a person at risk, knowing what this dog is truly capable of, would be irresponsible on me as a breeder and as a person that I'm putting another human being just to make money off of them in a situation where I know they're not educated on what the breed is and what it's capable of. So no, I will not take the money. I'll pass it to sale. I'll tell them, go to somebody else and turn it down. Like, I don't need the money. I do this as a hobby. I do this because I enjoy it. I do it because I love it. I have other things I do for the money. And some people breed these dogs because they need the money. And that's when you seeing them sell the dog to anybody. And I watch it because I know who come to me, and I see where they go, and I see these people selling them puppies. I'm like, man. And then really for me, I even have a puppy application. So you got to fill out a whole application. You don't just call me and say, hey man, I just want to buy a dog. We talk. No, go through I have a process. I mean, this is a business to protect you and protect me and my puppy. So no, all money is not good money. I'll blow it away.
All right. Who next? Trevor, you want to take it?
I have no bitches. I'm a stud service provider. But I will say this. I think all of us can agree that we have that spidey sense where it's like, okay, this motherfucker gonna be a problem. I don't care. No, I don't want your money, because it's people who are quick to buy animals without asking questions. Those ones are gonna be hunting your ass for the next year and a half, 2 years. Oh, my dog's pooping liquid. Take him to the vet. So I don't have any females, man, but I think Trev can give a very big insight on this shit.
No, I mean, for me, it's very simple, man. I run a business. I don't like people. So every person that even gets within 5 feet, it's like, I don't want to talk to you. I mean, so if they say the wrong thing the wrong way, I'll just hang up the phone. Bye. I tell people a lot of times, you have to be nice. There's another nigga wishing he could get one of the dogs. So anybody desperate, man, I need a dog. I'll never respond to that. Hey, I'm not responding to it. What I've learned about business, and again, for me, I run it like a real business.
Yeah.
So everything's ran like operationally speaking. If I sell a person, we got 24 dogs out there right now for 3 years, and we built this whole thing off of 3 fucking dogs. That's it. Mm-hmm. But we got 24 dogs that exist, and I probably have heard from 24 people, not at all. I mean, when I say not at all, they get the best dogs. I take all the rejects. So when there is an issue, guess who they can call? The person who damn near knows everything about his dogs, to be fair. But good money, in my opinion, there's no such thing as good money or bad money. It's good decisions and bad decisions. Yeah. And depending on where you at in life, you make a bad decision, like Gerald just alluded to, this motherfucker on your phone every 5 seconds because he had no clue what's going on. And if you have no basic education, and number one thing is like somebody was like, hey, one of the dogs out there right now, Smokey's got a rashes all over, atopic sarcoptic mites. I said, what are you feeding him? Royal Canine. I said, we can't ever speak again. Now, I gave you a puppy who you watched for 8 weeks eat the best food on earth, and you like Royal Canine. You can't call me. It's like, we have nothing to discuss. I gave you every guide for free. I gave you the food. Now I've got Richard DeBerry and iFeedWorld.com. You can go get some chubs there, but you're giving Royal Canine. You wonder why he's breaking out? Don't ever call me again.
Yeah.
So good money, bad money. I like to make good decisions because I want to hear about great dogs living great lives in great places. And sometimes when I don't hear anything, that means things are really going well.
Right.
So I don't, that money thing is like, you can't. Hey man, I got 15,000 right now. Well, you should probably go read about the stocks, like some smart investments.
Yeah.
On a dog, buddy. If you got money, it sounds like you want to give it away. That doesn't sound too bright to me.
Yeah. Let's knock this one out because this is a heavy topic. Show and working. Come on, Rich. I know you want to. I know you want this one. The difference between showing and working, and maybe even get into what a balanced dog is.
You know, here's the interesting thing. There are some breeds that have been around long enough to establish a working line and a show line. There are. And my breed, that's not the case. So in America, the Americans have come up with this working line Prussia Canario, where you can go to Canary Islands and you'll see a couple that they'll say have working line dogs, but you don't see where they have working titles. You don't see PSA titles. And then if you come back to America and ask the breeder that have working line dogs, you ask them, how many dogs do you have? 10. Out of the 10, how many have working titles? None. And that's a problem. And I always tell people that call me, you got working line dogs and show line dogs. I said I have Prussia Canarios that are bred to standard. Is the goal of the program. So don't get caught up in the Prussia Canario world of a working dog and a show dog and a Prussia. Get a Prussia Canario that's bred to standard and get a real Prussia, and the dog will be capable and should be capable to work as well as conformationally correct to where you can show. The working line thing in the Prussia Canario world is a sell sizzle. It's something that people have come up with here that it's just to sell dogs. And the Canarians, I have a lot of Canarian friends. They're like, man, how long? Why do Americans say that? Like these dogs, yeah, we have them in shows, but I can train the dog. And you see these people that work in kennels, they're paying all these decoys a lot of money to teach the dog how to bite and how to protect. If it was a working line, just do it on his own. You don't have to keep spending all this money to own decoys. Like I got dogs out here. I spent money on decoys because I wanted to teach the dog how to properly bite, when to do it, not to do it. So you can't just say working line and show line in my breed. It's not established enough and no program has proved to have working lines in America, period. So when you hear it, run.
Trail.
I mean, same thing. When you do get a working line, and I think that's in all breeds, the dog's oftentimes going to be a little bit smaller. And like him, same thing. The Jack Russell, they go out and they get certificates for ground hogging. They can go down in the hole, get a hog, get on a raccoon, do some pretty decent stuff. And then you get into your show lines where you'd be like, damn, they selling a Jack Russell for $5,000. That's crazy. But then you get the working ones, them drugs be like $1,000, $1,500. Folk been doing it for 30 years or so. But I think show line dogs are good. I actually think when you mix them both, you can get like that good hybrid per se. If you know how to breed correctly and both people are very sure, like, man, I want to add a little bit more bone density or a little bit more capabilities. I want a little bit more design. But same time, two different styles. And in the American Bully, I'm being honest, all the shows are a joke. So I don't know what they're showing. I don't know what they're showing. If anything, you see the videos of dogs are getting hot, biting folks. I've been there and see with my own two eyes and have video. I should expose these people because it's none of my business. Everybody saw the same thing I saw. But you just go, wow. I don't even know what a showing American Bully is. I've shot the ABKC national show, been in the middle of the ring when the champion's being crowned. And it was a cool time, but I'm still like, all those dogs look different. So you get more and more confused. But a good show line, a show dog is kind of like Gerald alluded to, it is a gorgeous dog when done correctly. And in a working line, get this, it's a gorgeous dog when it's working. And I watch grown men get goosebumps watching their dog get active on a hog. And I've got video of me out in the woods with them hog dogs. And you say, whoo, buddies, that right there is a hog. So you see them dogs get active and get real inspired. You say, man, I can go get one of them. I don't know what that is.
Yeah. In the Doberman community, there's a huge distinction. Most of the times, 100% of the time, working Dobermans, whether they're from Europe or America, are small. They look like deers. They come in multicolors. Some motherfuckers work. They will die while getting shot and still be on the bite, right? And then you got the big blocky ones, the nice top line, nice bottom lines. The gums are dark, the eyes are dark almond, you get the right markings, etc.
Yeah.
And you mix those two, you got a great dog. So what I do, I specifically want to have my dogs to have working line bloodlines, like shit. They call it IGP now. Okay, IGP, and some shows. Now, a lot of times the breeders over there in Europe, they put their dogs in shows early, like 6-month-old puppy show and 9-month-old puppy show, because you got to have titles on your dogs if you're going to breed in Europe, because over here in America, you don't have to have titles. Over there, the dog's got to have something in order to have a litter. So my thing is, I love the concept of both. Now, I set myself apart from all the Doberman breeders because all my males have to have a working title. And I'm talking about either ring sport, IGP, something, or a brevet, because now I can prove the temperament of my dog.
Yeah.
I don't know about the bitch I'm breeding to. I can just tell you about her health and her bloodlines. But at least I know, because I'm only a stud guy, I'm bringing my A game to the table, right? But I can tell you that my 95% of the breeders, the people who buy dogs from me, they want the look, but they don't want the workability.
Yeah.
I get goddamn calls every 3 months. Hey, man, the dog's tearing my yard up. He's running around. I said, you do know Doberman's a part greyhound, right? I'm like, he got no grass no more. My jacuzzi top is all ripped off. He's got to get something done. He got to do something. You got to keep him active. That's why I got that treadmill. And it's interesting because, like Trev said, a nice working dog is beautiful too, right? So you want to have both for me, and it's only for me. Now, again, is here in America, it's really hard to per se find a all working Doberman breeder because they're not fucking working. And if you do get one, they're going to give you limited papers because they don't want their lines being rebred, So that's another whole concept of that BS. But yeah, man, I love the concept of both. I love presses, I love pits. I love all animals, and you got to start from there first, Then you spread abroad.
That's what's up. Hey, so another important thing is the pedigree. Explain why that matters, but on top of that, before you even get into it, does a pedigree matter if the dog's in front of you ain't shit?
Want me to take it?
Take it.
I'll take it.
I could be shy.
Listen, let me tell you something. I'm not breeding dogs if I don't know the pedigree. I'm not doing it. And does a dog in front of you matter? Hell yeah, it matters. You're looking right at the dog. But what made that dog? I typically look at the grandparents and the great-grandparents of the dog that I'm breeding before I even get into it. So pedigrees to me is huge, and that's one thing in my breed that you don't see a lot of. You'll see a lot of pedigrees where it has blank spots on it and the kennels no longer exist. Like, I like to dig deep into pedigrees. Like, how many of these kennels in my dog's pedigree are still active? How many people are still breeding? Because if not, that tells me that was a backyard bred dog. John and Bob got together and bred a dog. Now that dog is my pedigree. Like, I don't know the characteristics of that dog. And that's one way to kind of know the genetic makeup of what you're going to be breeding is by your dog pedigree, man. Like, yeah, that's the most important thing to me when it comes to breeding. The dog in front of me matters, but the pedigree is where I make my decisions based off of.
Gotcha. Rich, before we move on, are they still using presses for any kind of herding jobs?
Not really. I mean, not in the Canary Islands, not really.
Okay.
Not really. I mean, and truly said, like, this was a fighting dog. Like, they used to fight these dogs there, and that's what these dogs are made for. They were fighting dogs. So fighting dogs, of course, is illegal. So no, you don't really see that. They was more built for fighting than they were for herding. And that's something that people don't talk about a lot because they don't know and realize this is a fighting dog. Right. So no, they don't really. Some farms made, but not really. Right. It's a small percentage.
Okay. Hey, Gerald, you want to take that one? How important is the pedigree? Does the dogs in front of you matter?
Well, I'm gonna tell you right now, if the dog in front of me is shit, but the pedigree is solid, I'm still not getting that dog. Yeah. You know, you can have. Listen, everybody knows who's all four of us know that every puppy, even if you got two superior parents, every puppy ain't gonna be no goddamn rock star. My uncle told me a long time ago, he said, Gerald, it is scientifically proven that if you have 3 or more siblings, one of you guys is going to be an underachiever. I'm just calling it what it is, right? And with that being said, same thing with puppies. I mean, you got a litter of 6 or 7 or 8. All of them, all of them ain't going to be like Secretariat the horse, right?
Hold on, Gerald. That's what everybody say now. All my puppies are top line. All of them.
Yep, that's the number one lie.
That's a selling pitch to lie. Now the bloodline, now the pedigree. Now I am a guru with pedigrees. When it starts going back to great grandfather and grandfather, I want to look at what the fucking parents are. You don't snowball me and just show me the male. Yeah. Most of the puppies getting their DNA from the mama. Bring the mama out. That's the foundation. So for me, I want to see what the parents are, number one, and who the grandparents are. When you start talking about great grandparents, that dog, that's less than 25% of that dog. Pedigree is very important to me when I'm talking about putting a dog in my camp. But if that dog is shit in the beginning in front of me, I'm passing because I know me. After that dog don't show what he got in the first 5-6 months, I'm giving his ass away with papers. I don't care.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Treya, what'd you think, brother?
I mean, same thing in the American Bully, man. I actually don't know that pedigrees matter as much. Challenge is I think they will in the future if somebody focuses on the details. And somebody says, what's a pedigree? I said, just like Carnegie, Rockefeller, Gates, and Vanderbilt, you know who you are. It's easy to get in fucking rooms. So in this case, we're designing something that I can guarantee you based off, this female, this is what you'll get every time. And I don't sell rock stars. I sell good dogs, and good dogs require a lot of good work. So I like the dog. If I like the dog in front of me, the scientist in me will test the genetics. So like I might see something like but I think the genes are there because we'll see the behaviors and characteristics in the dog. So she might do something special, over a course of time. But in the American Bully, when they say, "Man, I got a purebred American Bully," be like, "Man, stop playing." Look, I can't even. That's why I can't even stop playing, bro.
Yeah,
that dog. I still had paperwork from 10 years ago when the UKC was calling them pit bulls, and I've got paperwork with grandparents like Remy, Gina Jules. I got the paperwork still on one of my oldest bullies, and was no American Bully even recognized. So I'm like, all those dogs that were bullies, stop playing with me, man. I didn't see it all.
Yeah. Well, hey, so. Breeders out there, don't get mad at me, man, but I'm finna ask this question. A lot of times I see amongst all breeds people using the pedigree almost to sell the dog, right? At what point should a breeder start recognizing himself and start instead of trying to live off those old names? And let me top that with this. How far back in the pedigree does it matter when it comes to the dogs in front of you?
Well, for one, I think it's stupid. The guy walked up to me at ABKC National. He's like, "Man, I got a dog that's 2 times something." I said, "Who gives a fuck?"
Yeah.
And you say, "I'm like, what's it?" I said, "You promoting his dog or yours?" I'm confused. Even people asking, "Yo, whose ego's that?" I said, "Why does it matter? You ain't never looked for him before. You worried about ego. I don't give a shit about that nigga's dog. He's a nice guy. I like him, but I'm not. I'm like, bro, I'm not going to like his 2-time gooch hooch whoever. His 3 times. I don't think it sells when they don't have. For me, again, people. I'm a businessman, so I understood supply, demand, branding, marketing, communication, clarity, and most importantly, how to communicate effectively about what I'm doing and what I'm doing. So he never heard me promote no motherfucking dog. I don't even promote my own. So you don't know, hey, come tap in with ego. You never get to use him. I said that before he got cancer. It don't happen. So for me, it literally comes down to, well, for one, we don't sell hype. For 2, I don't get caught up on the matters. And for 3, I ain't promoting no other man's business unless we friends. So I promote what Richard does because it aligns with what we're doing and how it helps everyone else's dogs. Isn't that crazy? It actually has nothing to do with my dogs. It helps everyone's dogs to get that chub.
Yeah.
But the minute I go into this is so-and-so, so-and-so, I have no fucking clue what that means because none of those dogs are able to replicate themselves.
Right.
That's a solid answer.
Yeah.
Gerald, take it.
Okay.
What was the question? Because it came full circle.
Yeah. I kind of loaded it up too. I was talking about how when does a breeder take responsibility for the dogs he have bred instead of living off the older breeder's name and accolades that older breeders might have done, and how far back in the pedigree does that shit even matter anyway?
Man, hell of a question. And I've been saying the same answer for 16 years. I put it like this. My last name is Antoine. I'm a Creole descent. My great-great-grandfather's a fucking Frenchman. Do I look like I'm French to you? I don't give a fuck about what happened. The great-great-great-grandparents. I want to know what the parents are. I'm always knowing what the parents are. Don't give me this shit about the great grand champion of great grand. Fuck all that. Listen, the farther you get away from the parents in the back, the least that of that DNA is in the dog that you're talking about right now, right? Yeah. So when people are using he's the great grandson of the champion Victor Arthur von Murchison Leo, that means he don't know shit about his dogs. Because if you knew shit about your dogs, you wouldn't have to keep reaching back to a dog that's been dead 12 years ago.
Yeah.
That's a bad sign for me. And like I say, I've been toasted with that bullshit line. So none of that shit matters to me. The people who are novice and who are beginners in this game don't get snowballed. I put it like this. You guys are probably, I'm 53 now, so you probably watch Bewitched, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, there was a guy that used to come and fix all of Samantha's fuck-ups called Dr. Bombay.
Mm-hmm.
Don't come here and Dr. Bombay me with some bullshit because I know what I'm talking about. But the people who are new to this game don't know that great-grandparent shit don't matter. You want to know what the parents are. I'm a huge advocate of that. So no, it matters that the breeder know his product. You selling me something. It's like selling me a goddamn Range Rover, but at one point Ford was making a goddamn Range Rover. Did you know that? Let's play with this. Let's pull it out. Let's see how big it is. Because if you're gonna keep going back to the past, then we can't learn nothing about the dog right now. You know, and I get real passionate about it because I get these bullshit gigabyte gangsters asking me crazy ass questions. Is the dog good for my house and shit? And I'm like, you know what? Who's in your house? Can I trust them around kids? Depending on how you raise them. Chihuahua can be goddamn vicious. So man, we can go all day long about that. But pedigrees, if the breeder don't know what he's got right now, stand clear.
Yeah. Woo, I started some shit in the chat with that question. Yeah. Yeah. Hey, so this is our first episode, and we getting close to coming out of time. Trevor said some stuff. He said, I am a businessman. Why is it important to be a businessman at the core when you're dealing with dogs and the public, Trevor?
For one, if you live in reality, what happens is people falsify a future that does not exist. So it'd be like Jeff Bezos selling you to Amazon 20 years ago when the internet was growing 2,000% and he's selling books online at the end of the day. You say, well, how are you going to be worth $1 trillion one day? We'll get there. Doesn't make sense. In niggas' minds, they buy a dog and this dog's going to change the whole world.
Yeah.
That's not true. So that's not business. Reality is, in this very moment, there are certain things that have to take place to get to a goal. The truth is, on that journey, a lot of things are going to go wrong.
Yeah.
And then you have to justify value even in fault or even in error. And there's moments where the market is good, market's low. There was a day where Amazon stock was worth $6. There was a day when it was worth $112. Now it's about $1,500, $3,000 a share. If you bought it at $6, well, you probably set for life. So when you're looking at the dog, and mind you, when I say run it as a business, the dogs are out, they're free. I knew for a fact I was going to always have dogs, but we have to be realistic about goals, opportunity, and execution. And so in our case, Joe says, hey, I only have studs. Guess what? Every time something happens to one of my females, my member, with those that don't know, we do 2 years of work on every female.
Yeah.
And some of them don't turn out. So that's 2 years down the drain. And just even today, there's another one gone. While I was gone, I walked back into the house, jumping live with you guys. Another one's gone. So that plan's changed. So now I have to move another dog around to get to the same result with one missing link completely gone. So if you don't run it like a business operationally and not be desperate, desperation says, man, if I put out right now, like Gerald's ego, hey, 10 people right now, ego, you use a semen, $10,000. Them niggas will send money so fast. And I would just, man, I know these niggas ain't got that kind of money. Ego, where you getting this from? Man, you robbed your mama. So when you look at a business, let's talk about supply demand. The market in America saturated. Once it got saturated, just like the fluffy L4, L5 and the Frenchie, now everybody get it. You can buy a fluffy L4 for like $1,000 now. Yeah. But there's literally documented someone bought one at one time for $250,000. This happened right in California. Yeah. They bought a Isabella chocolate something for $250 and didn't blink. Now you get that same color pattern with the hair and everything for about a bando. So let's run it like a business and operate under the function that in the long game we will be successful. We focus on adding value, and value is why we go to stores, why we eat the way we eat, why we buy, why we spend time with the people we spend our time with. It's how do you add value, and people aren't thinking about those things. If I give you a dog and you can't add value to his life, I failed the dog in the business.
Yes,
which is why we have to be selective with everyone that comes into our world, and most importantly, like you said, do the work. I got 2 years of work. So after these, we got a year of breeding. After these females, whatever we keep, there's no more breeding for 2 years. Not in my house, at least. And there's no studs being used either. So you're like, I don't know what they do. We got 2 years on our females to make sure we get a little bit closer. So I love business. I love how it functions. I love that it teaches you a lot of ugly lessons. But we live in reality, man. And reality is what keeps us sane.
Hey, here's the interesting thing about that question too, though, and that statement. Majority of dog breeders don't treat it as a business. They treat it as a hustle. I'm going to hustle these dogs. I'm going to buy these dogs. I'm going to make some money. Have no strategy, have no plan, don't even have a kennel set up. I mean, they're just buying dogs and breeding and trying to flip money like it's drugs. So Trevor has a great point, and I treat mine, this is a business. I have insurance. Like, yeah, and most people don't have insurance on their dogs in their facility. Like, I actually invested $150,000 building my establishment. Like, this is a business. So I'm not just taking my business and just putting it in the hands of somebody I know that's not responsible or not going to take care of it and treat it like, no, I'm not doing that, man. This is a business. And I'm in it for the long haul. That's why I have a strategy. I have a plan. I have insurance. I have investment. I reinvest in the program. I mean, when I sell, I put it right back in here. That's when my dogs eat the best of the best. I work them. I condition them. They live. I don't cut corners because it's a business. It represents me and my brand. Like, this is not a fucking hustle. And that's the problem. A lot of people treat breeding dogs like a fucking hustle, like it's selling drugs. That's not what it is.
Mm-hmm. There's a lot of sleepless nights in Seattle. That's why my hat's off to all the breeders who actually whelp litters. I mean, that first 2 weeks, everything is put on fucking hold. Yeah. And I don't know what that feels like except when I have my own baby.
Boy.
So I can't do it. But again, I think during COVID, it kind of made a lot of dog hustlers. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, and
everybody had 20 bands.
yeah. So again, you got to get into your breed for the love of it, because once you love what you're doing, you will never consider it work. The money is like the icing on the cake. You know what I'm saying? And I treat mine like a business too. I don't get personal with people. They want to do live covers of my dogs. I don't do live cover with strange dog. We're gonna do AI or TCI or surgical. But I'm not having my dog fuck your dog and then my dog become up sterile because he got a UTI. I'm not doing it, right? And I turn that shit down, and 1,000 ones look just like him. So when people see that you care that much about your own product, they respect you more.
Yes.
Because when they go somewhere else, you're gonna pay for what you get.
Yeah.
And look, you want it.
Look, speaking of pay, and I treat like a business, the price of the dog is the price of the dog. I'm not negotiating. And there's people out there, one person, the dog is $3,000, another person is $5,500, another person, I'm gonna hook you up for $2,000. Like, stop the game.
Yeah. I don't like the hookup shit, man. I hate that.
But it ain't a hookup. They can't sell puppies. Like they don't have people to sell dogs to. So now they're tired of taking and feeding the dog. So here, take this bitch. Just give me $1,500. Just give me $1,000. Like, man, come on, get out of here with that.
No marketing strategy, no precautionary examinations. They just thought it was just putting two dogs together.
Yep,
that's money. No, it's more than that, homeboy. Join the band.
Yeah.
We got 5 minutes left.
Yeah, we got 5 minutes. I want to go in because I don't know if everybody knows everybody, but I'm pretty sure y'all done got some valuable insights. One thing I want to talk about before we end is Richard's raw dog food company. He saved my ass one time. I had ran out. Man, the brother had mailed me some raw dog food. It came in like the next day or something like that. Whatever it came in, sucker was still froze. Yeah. And I want to talk a little bit about Pangea Health too on Trevor's side. So I'll let y'all take off and end it from there.
I mean, healthcare, I believe, is going to be very important in the future. It's been very hard for me to connect with people outside of Richard because Richard has a real goal. And I'm never going to forget, even on the live that he and I did first, I said, well, what's your maximum output? And he didn't know the answer.
Yep.
So I go, oh, the next day he's like, yo, it's 880,000. Based on the people and relationships we're building some big businesses that will have crazy exits with a focus on healthcare and healthcare only. So Pangea Health, it exists, but it'll be definitely by 2026, it'll be a full formulated business. And mind you, we've already got a supplement business. The online pharmacy for livestock, animals, pets, cats will be launched and up by January. And then we'll have our first playpen on the ground by the middle of 2026. And it's all to study and collect data. So Richard has a good idea of what we're doing and how and why we work together. But healthcare, as you know, it's a black hole. And the beauty about it is, as long as people keep fucking this breed up, they're gonna be calling my phone, asking me what to do so they don't gotta go to the vet. Hey man, my dog is pissing blood. You're like, it's about that time. Might be time to go to the vet, buddy. I don't know and Tadlock, he did a video. Hey, can you ask Tadlock? He says, I'm not homeopathic. I don't fucking know. He's a redneck white dude who's super honest, but what we're building will help long-term improve, patient outcomes per se. And part of that's just, information, just make sure you grab the information. But guys, don't cut corners. I think Gerald said it too. Go to the fucking vet if there's a problem.
Yep. The foundation.
The foundation, man, I'm gonna tell you, this was a project that came in by mistake. I had no real intention in planning on starting a raw dog food company. It was a pain point for me because I was so busy grinding food, because I realized by doing the research that feeding kibble was worse than feeding kibble. And feeding raw was actually better than feeding kibble. So I was always an athlete. And I remember going to Burger King and McDonald's, how my body looked to when I started eating clean diets, weighing 6 ounces of chicken, eating 150 grams of rice. Like, my body transformed a lot better. I mean, eating my waste and poop was different. So the same thing happened with the dogs. I was feeding them kibble. They was pooping all over the place. Like all day long, I was scooping poop. Did the research, came up with the raw idea, and I started grinding food. It was taking me forever because then I had 7 dogs. It would take me, like Trev, it'd take an hour and a half to kind of prep food. So
I started setting timers back in there. See how fast. Let me see how fast I can prepare 6 dogs food.
yeah, got holes everywhere. Yeah, man. So I came up with the Raw Dog Food Company, the Foundation Raw, and one of the most important things to me was making raw dog food affordable for everybody. I want it clean, I want it simple, I wanted a high quality, but I want it also affordable. So anybody that wanted to feed their dogs raw could actually afford to do it. You can shop online at ifeedraw.com. 24 hours. We ship on Mondays. It's come right to your doorstep. It's a very high quality dog food. My manufacturer been doing this for over 35, close to 40 years. I mean, this is no in my backyard and garage grind deal. Like, this is a company that $1 million company that's producing this food, and you guys are getting an extremely high quality product.
That's what's up.
I would say before we chime out that I bought tripe and stuff from other companies, Green Tripe and Texas Tripe, and I would say that rich shit looks so good that it almost look edible.
Yeah.
Until you smell that shit.
Yeah.
Oh hell no!
Yeah. And it's first class, man. No shit, first class.
Yeah,
and it comes to you frozen, like 2-day air, overnight, some shit. Every Monday they ship out, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So, guys, if you want that discount, hit it up. EDS 1911. You get additional 10%, and trust me, if I'm using it, you can use it.
Some good
shit. Don't cook it. Don't eat it yourself, though.
Yeah.
Don't do it. Don't
take us home, Joe.
All right, hey everybody. We appreciate y'all coming in for the first podcast. It's gonna be many more. It's gonna be, man, I'm telling y'all gonna love it. We see y'all next time.
Peace.